Okay, so
Oh, we're just hanging around shooting the bull there in camp. But we were still in our tents. There was a building, a barracks for our relief. We're fixing to come home. And the first thing I knew, a fellow come running out there to me. He says, "There's a big fellow, claims to be the champ of the Finnish Navy. And he wants to challenge the strongest fellow in your camp for an arm wrestle." Well, that was me. So I walk over at that tent. They had a domino table where some of them boys sat around and play dominoes, cards. And that fellow was sitting there, and he weighed 300 pounds or better. His arms about the size of my hips, looked like. And when I walked up, he said, "Oh, so you're the champ." And I don't remember word for word it was said, but I think I told him, "Well, I'm one of them." But we sat down there and felt one another out, kept trying to get the grip on each other, and one of the chiefs was holding our hands together, and he counted three and turned us loose. Well, my arm right away started easing back. And I said, I just made up my mind. I may not throw him, but he ain't gonna throw me. I guarantee you that he can't do it. Well, I gave it maybe 2 or 3 inches, and then I brought him back up plumb. I noticed his hands were smaller than mine, and I could outgrip him. So I put more into my grip than I did in my arm. And when I did, his wrist kind of gave a little bit. And I said, "Okay, buddy, I'll get you. If I just hold you where you're at, you're going to give." And buddy, we stood that, I guess, back and forth 3 or 4 inches for the longest. And all of a sudden, it went down. I mean, it went down hard. And I never will forget, he sounded like a lammy talking when he talked. He said, "Well, chap, you're the stoutest. Yeah, chap, you're the stoutest. Oh, you're the bloody," let me see, he meant bloody stoutest. Yeah, that's what it was. "Chap, you're the bloody stout." But that was about the size of it. It wasn't nothing. But those boys got a kick out of it. They was on wanting me to win it. I know that. Old Todd was there. He was one of them that instigated it. But now this boy was there. Ain't no doubt that I've been talking to, but he's a little confused on, and maybe I am too anymore. A lot of that war I can't tie together according to dates, but I remember as well if it would happen out there yesterday when the Mout Hood exploded. But he mentioned Japs digging the graves for what was we could find floating out from the debris that hit the water, and most of the, well, everybody that survived and that was blown off other surrounding ships is what the only survivors, with the exception of a few that was on the beach picking up the mail. We had the post office, Fleet Post Office, was located there on Manus, and they had a few that was a ship's company of the Mount Hood. That's the only survivors that I know of. There wasn't no one that survived the blast. By the time the smoke cleared, there was just nothing but blue water and trash everywhere, and pieces of human beings, and some that survived it that hit the water. But he mentioned that they were talking about just making a mass grave and bury them in pieces. They couldn't identify the bodies, a leg or arm or this or that. But the chaplain broke it up. He wouldn't allow it. He says each piece would be identified, be buried separate. That they'd use Japanese prisoners to dig the grave. Well, hell, if there was any Japanese prisoners, I didn't know they was there, because we didn't have any business having them. And the Army had already moved out. They had already left the islands. They'd gone to Yap or somewhere. I don't know from there. But we didn't head for the Philippines till, a few weeks later, after the ammunition ship blew. And that's about the size of it.